I'm going to talk about the storm which has just devastated so many parts of California and a lot of parts of this county. It's taken me about 8 times making this video, and hopefully this will be the last one because it has been so terrifying and so difficult that I find myself just blabbing to delete, start again, start just blabbing, delete. So I'm just going to try to keep it to just the facts this time. So the last video, the first 24 hours led off on Sunday morning. Enough had happened already. There had been snow and road closures, and not down here, but snow up the higher elevations, and road closures, and some trees falling, and some high winds North County. So Sunday it was raining all day, and in the late afternoon it started getting windy, and when I mean windy, it was something else, just this heavy duty wind, and I still had power, and each time the wind would blow, it started being pretty unrelenting, and I was getting seriously frightened. I don't know what I was frightened of. The house is very solid, and I was okay here, but it just was dark outside and scary, and it was just not a good scene. I still, again, I still had power, which was good. So I was following what was happening on Facebook. I'm on a lot of groups, local scanner groups and local like neighborhood groups. So I could see the road closures, and trees were falling, and things were happening, and car accidents. And maybe it wasn't the best thing for me to be looking at, but if I had to leave here or something happened, you kind of got to stay on top of what's going on. So I was looking at that, and then around 9:45, there was a gust of wind, stronger than any gust of wind I have ever felt up here, and it hit the house, and all the lights went out, and that was it. I didn't know who else had been affected because the minute the power was out, I didn't have any sort of access to anything. So as I've mentioned before, right here on the other side of the door frame here, I have a lantern on a nail. Everyone thinks it's decorative, but no, it's my source of light in the middle of the house. So no matter where I am in the house, I know I can reach this here. I also have a flashlight on the side of my bed and some other places where lights are, but this is, as I say, center of the house. I can always get to it. So I got to it, and at that point there wasn't much to do except go to bed. The wind blew all night, and I don't think anyone slept well in the whole state. Everyone was getting this high wind, incredible high wind. It was terrifying wind, and woke up, no power, and as soon as it was light, I went outside to see what had happened, and I'm gonna put my little video in here about that right now. This morning I got up and waited till it was light, and drove into town, made a couple phone calls, stopped at the casino, which is always open and always going, and had a latte there. It was delicious. So happy they're there. They're just wonderful community members, and drove back home. Right now it's raining. I think the wind is over. The whole county is just kind of a wreck right now. I must say that Caltrans and PG&E and the county have done a great job. I drove the highway to get to the casino in town, and there's debris piled up on the side of the road. Wherever something fell, they came in and fixed it and moved it. And I think there's probably a lot more in different parts of the county. I just know my little area here. There is no estimated time of bringing the power back on, but I'm good here. This afternoon, if I want something more to drink, I'll run down to the casino or do something, go to my neighbor's, or light up my own little stove. I cannot tell you how lucky I feel, how much gratitude I have for the fact that everything's okay here at the house, and with me, and apparently with my neighbors and everyone in town. Hopefully everyone in the county, because this was a rough one. Everything was thrown all over the porch. I could hear things clattering and crashing. This little greenhouse was knocked over. The lid of the septic tank was way down there by where that wire is in the far corner of the screen. The screen house knocked over too, and this is all shredded, but these are small things. Where this came from, I see things that were at the front of the house are now at the back of the house. All my planting pots here were knocked off of this all over the ground. I heard things crashing last night, but like I say, it could have been a lot worse. That tree, which fell down in the last storm and was propped up, has fallen up again. It has very strong roots, I imagine, when they come do the cleanup in the spring, we'll just prop it up again. So Monday and Tuesday were fine weather-wise. It was a little drizzly on Monday, and the weather was beautiful on Tuesday, so I was able to leave the house. I had no power, but I'm about a mile from the casino, which is the most wonderful community member you could have. And you don't think of a local casino as having anything interaction with the community, but they are really awesome. And so I have a cafe in there, so I went and got some hot drinks a couple of times. I did make some food for myself here, but I needed to use, I needed some internet access and communication access, and I just needed to see other people. So the next 2 days were spent doing things like that. I went out to the casino each day to get a latte. I had a hot meal at the grocery store. They have a hot bar and a little dining area, so I'd go out there once a day and check messages and all that sort of stuff. And on Tuesday, again, we didn't have power. The day was beautiful. I went and volunteered at the food bank. We served 230 families, and I did my deliveries and charged up some of my devices at one of my clients' house. He was nice enough to let me do that, and just kind of passed the day and went to visit a friend. Actually, I'd left the house at 8 in the morning and wasn't back till 4. When I got home, I saw some PG&E trucks on the road, and I asked them what they thought was happening, and they said we might have gotten our power back Tuesday night. And sure enough, around 6:45, the power came back. I was so grateful, very grateful. So there's been a lot of devastation. I finally have, because the power's back on the internet, I've had access to seeing what's going on. I had no idea what was going on in Southern California. It's awful. There's been a state of emergency up here. Houses, trees have fallen into houses, and cars have been crushed. The whole west side of the county is heavily wooded, redwood trees, and it's been people can't get to their house, can't get out of their house, don't have power, don't have utilities. They're working really hard to help people up there. Shower truck went up today, I believe, to help people who haven't been able to take a shower since the power went out. This community really has gone through a lot with fires and with all sorts of things. And even though it's not a high-income community, it is a very hands-on help community. So help is already arriving. I have 2 videos coming out in this month. I do them ahead of time. And one of them is the freezer. I did a freezer tour, and in the freezer tour, I mentioned that I put in these big bricks of ice packs in the freezer in case there is a blackout, so the freezer stays cold. And I have a chest freezer, and okay, it's a chest freezer. It was only 2 days. The freezer is well insulated, and the house was cold, but nothing thawed in there. Everything stayed solid as a rock, and I'm absolutely certain it's because of the help of those ice packs. So just something you should know if you get blackouts or whatever, to put those big ice packs in your freezer between your food, and you might be able to save the contents of your freezer. I also did a video about mending, and one of the things I talked about was this sweater I'm wearing right now, which was my father's, and I had some of his sweaters in a box, and the lid cracked open a little bit, and a mouse got in and chewed down on this one and another one. I was very upset because they were my father's sweater, and they were very nice sweaters, but I persevered and mended. Here's one of the mending patches I did, and I talk about that a little bit in the other video, and I said I was not willing to give up on the sweater because it was my dad's, and you just never know when a nice warm wool sweater like this will make the difference. And I wore it the entire time. I had no power, I had no heat, and it was wonderful. It kept me warm, and I felt like my dad was keeping me warm too and seeing me through this. So all is okay-ish. I'm okay. The town I live in is okay. My neighbors are okay, but a lot of people are not okay. So if you're a person who likes to pray, please do so. There's a lot of people in a lot of trouble who are, they're doing the best they can, but it's an awful thing to lose your home suddenly, or to just be without power for long stretches, or to not know what the future of your home is, or what's going to happen. It's been a lot of that all over the state, and it's devastating. Anyway, I appreciated all your messages of support and wondering how I was doing up here. Hopefully I've been able to answer them all. I appreciate them so much, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for watching.